how did you learn about the LDT program, and was it while you were already attending school, or did you purposely attend school for the LDT program?
Yeah. So in my first adult job, I was working for a college as part of the professional faculty professional development team, and they needed an accessibility specialist. So I was sent to learn about it and become the district's accessibility lead. And one day I remember talking to my boss, my dean actually, and I said, you know what, I really like working with faculty and professional development. This is really fun. And he's like, have you ever heard of instructional design? And I was like, no, what is that? He's like, oh my gosh, it's the best job you have never heard of. And so he told me about what instructional designers do, the roles, and he name dropped SDSU, but he encouraged me to just shop around and see what would be best. Yeah. And I eventually landed on SDSU just because of the way it was facilitated, and just because it's been around longer. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's funny because I was looking around at graduate programs at the time, and my father worked in the CSU system, and he had heard about this field. He knew about instructional design from his own work. And he said, this is a field that's going to grow. He said, go into this field because there will always be jobs, and it's going to explode with the growth of educational technology, which is what we called it at the time. And not only was he right, he's, as we're finding with online, the demand for online education right now at this very moment, when this is recorded in COVID times, there's an even greater, I'm seeing job positions come out all the time. There's always a demand for this. So I kind of accidentally worked my way into it, but I'd already been working in kind of what we might think of as like multimedia instructional design in a very primitive form in my undergraduate work. So my transition right out, I'm kind of an unusual person in that case, because I didn't have an intermediary career and then transition into ed tech or learning technology or learning design and technology. I really started out in that field, and that's been my profession for 15. I think I graduated 12 years ago. So it's been a long road since then, but I think the LDT program definitely equipped me to handle all of the various challenges and the different kinds of roles that I've inhabited since that time.
Honestly, I was just looking at programs for instructional design. I think just Google, and I found it, and I thought, oh, San Diego State, that sounds like a good school. So I started to look into it, and I looked into a couple of other programs too, and I noticed that the LDT program was online. And so I first had this sort of like suspicious feeling like, oh, it's an online program. I don't really know how this is going to shake out. But actually, when I learned more about it and I read more about it, I realized, oh, you actually come to class with everybody at the same time, and there's lots of interaction and small groups, and it's like very much like a high touch type of program. So I thought, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, well, the first thing is I knew I have kids, and I was working pretty hard. So I knew that I need to do something that was fully online. And so I started immediately like filtering for what were online programs. And I found several around the country, but then I said, let's prioritize California because the time zone is going to be better for me. It's the same as everyone else. And also, if it's a public school, that'd be better because it's less expensive if I can find a state school. And that cut it back down to just a few colleges, and San Diego State was one of them. And so when I started to look into their program and I started looking into the courses that they were offering, I saw that there was quite a few that seemed interesting to me, and that's what led me to this program.